How to do market research for a coaching business. Are you a new or even experienced online coach looking to do more market research for your business? Are you thinking about launching a new course, coaching program, or product, but you're not sure if people will buy it? If you're wondering how to come up with offers that your audience will actually buy, you're in the right place because in this video, I'm going to share how to do market research for a coaching business. Hey, CourtneyLSanders here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to me, I'm a full-time online life and business coach as well as wife and mom. I wear all the hats and I do all the things. And in today's video, I want to talk to you about how to do market research for an online coaching business because it could be a little different sometimes than how you do market research for a traditional business. And I know many of you are just starting your online coaching business, or maybe you've started it, but you're like, am I doing the right things? I'm working on this product. I'm working on this coaching program. I'm spending all this time. Are these people even gonna buy it, Courtney? Are they gonna buy it? How do I know? That's what we're gonna talk about today. How to do the market research so that you know and that you can build your brand in confidence and come up with your offers in confidence because you're like, you know what? I know these people, they're gonna love it. And when I promote it and when I sell it, I know that I am going to have buyers. So if you're like, whew, how do I do this market research? You are in the right place. I'm gonna tell you how I do it, how I've done it, how I instruct my clients to do it, and what's working right now. All right, the first thing that you have to know when it comes to doing market research for a coaching business is you have to know your niche. And if you've watched even more than like 2 of my videos on this channel, then you already knew that I was gonna say this, okay? So shame on you if you haven't figured out your niche yet, especially when I keep promoting this Nail Your Niche challenge that you can join right now, right? So I typically don't do this at the top of the video, but it fits and it's so poignant. If you don't know your niche, just pause this video, click the link below, go to CourtneyLSanders.com/niche and join the Nail Your Niche challenge because it's a 5-day live challenge where I'm personally gonna work with you to help you find your niche. And because that's real and I really do this and it's live, I limit it. That's the thing. This is why I keep telling you guys you need to sign up because I don't want so many people in it that I can't get to everybody. So I limit it. So click the link below and if you see a spot available, just go ahead and jump in because once that hits 0, we shut it down because I can't have thousands and thousands of people in the challenge, especially because we even have an option where you can get direct coaching from me live via Zoom. So if that sounds interesting to you, just go ahead and go to the challenge. But back to our regularly scheduled program, right? Back to the video, you really need to know your niche because that is going to determine the type of market research that you do. Oftentimes we come up with programs, coaching offers that ultimately people don't buy because we weren't clear about our niche and we were doing market research in the wrong arena. So if you know your niche, that's gonna point you in the right direction and it's gonna ensure that you are doing the type of market research that you need to be doing. And along that vein, you need to be researching the right prospects. And I know this might seem like one and the same, like, well, Courtney, if I know my niche, then won't I automatically be researching the right prospects? Not necessarily, because you can know your correct niche, but still be researching different types of people within that niche that aren't the actual people that you want purchasing your products and programs, right? So you wanna choose the right prospects that are gonna get the biggest bang for their buck, that are gonna get the greatest ROI for the problem that you solve. And so I talk about that in previous videos, so make sure that you are checking those out. But you wanna make sure that you are choosing the right prospects and make sure that you are getting their feedback, right? So everyone that is interested in what you have to offer doesn't mean that they're an ideal client for you, right? So you know your niche, but then within your niche, you need to decide who are the ideal clients within your niche. And once you decide on them, then you wanna make sure that you are researching them and only them, okay? So you don't wanna research the wrong prospect because if you research everyone in your niche, you might get feedback that's not really applicable to you because it's coming from people that ultimately don't represent the people that you really even want as clients and customers. Okay, so once you are clear on your niche and you're researching the right prospects, you wanna make sure that you are keeping your ears open for the 3 C's. Well, it's not really 3 C's, but it sounds like C. Okay, 3 hard letter consonants. You'll see what I mean in a second, which is you wanna keep your eyes open for complaints. So that begins with a C. questions, that begins with a Q, but you know, and cravings, okay? These are the things that you want to keep in mind. And so what do I mean by that? Well, you want to open your ears anytime you hear somebody complaining about something, particularly when you hear your ideal target market complaining about something. So if they're like, man, you know, maybe your ideal target market is working moms, and you hear working moms complain about how much time it takes in the evening, about how much time it takes to make healthy meals for their kids. That's a complaint that you want to perk up to your ears, because that might help you maybe come up with some sort of coaching program if you just happen to be in the health and nutrition space. You also want to keep your ears open for questions, right? So if you see people asking a bunch of questions around a certain topic, that's a good idea. That's market research that you can use for your brand and business. And I've shared this in a previous video, but just as a side note, if you do have a target market of moms, or especially working moms, go ahead and join the Peloton group on Facebook for moms. I know this sounds ridiculous, but even if you're not a mom, even if you don't have a Peloton, if working moms are your target market, that Facebook group is a perfect example of a place where you can get amazing feedback and amazing market research for your coaching business. Moms are in there, they're barely talking about the workouts, they're barely talking about Peloton, they're talking about all these different things, asking all these different questions, and it gives you a bird's eye view of what your target market is really interested in and what they need help with, and again, the questions that they have. So if moms aren't your target market, you can find other types of Facebook groups or different places where you can get those complaints and questions as well. And so the last consonant, hard letter consonant, C, cravings, this is just another way to say desires, what your target market wants. You also want to keep your ears open for any time your target market says something like, man, I really wish, or I really want this, or ooh, if I could just have. Anytime you hear your ideal client saying things like that, that right there is some good market research. So you want to perk your ears up, take notes, copy down the exact words that they say, the way that they say it, because it's going to be very helpful for you, not just when you are crafting or coming up with your coaching programs, but when you're coming up with your marketing copy, right? The way you write your captions on social media, or the way you talk about what you do. If you do YouTube videos as well, or if you're posting on Facebook, you want to use the exact language that they use, because then they'll resonate with it even stronger. All right, I have more strategies where that came from, but first I want to hear from you. How do you do market research for your coaching business? Share with the community in the comments below. All right, so the fourth thing that you want to do when it comes to doing market research for your online coaching business is you want to go to online places to get these complaints, questions, and cravings, right? So I gave you one example, which was Facebook groups, but there's lots of different places where you can get this type of feedback in order to do market research. You can use different social media tools. You can look at the comments on social media. That's one of my favorite things to do. Is I'll go on different Facebook profiles where I know my target market hangs out at, and I will just look in the comments and see what people are saying. So if this is Facebook, if this is Instagram, you can find different influencers who represent your target market. Just hang out in their comments. You don't even have to post. Just hang out in their comments and see what people are saying. Again, what type of complaints they're lobbying, what type of questions they have, and what type of cravings, desires, wishes, wants they are expressing. In addition to that, you can use various tools online in order to get even more feedback. So there's different SEO tools. I know this is getting kind of technical, but SEO stands for search engine optimization. And even if you're like, what? I don't want to do SEO. You don't have to do SEO, but if you use SEO tools, it will let you know what people are typing in on Google. And so I use a lot of SEO tools, not because I do SEO or I have any interest in it per se, but I want to know, what is my target market typing into Google? What is my target market typing into YouTube? That helps me come up with YouTube videos, ideas like this, but it also helps me come up with program ideas, different training ideas, different content for my Instagram or what have you. Using these different SEO tools is very helpful for that. So again, these online forums, these Facebook groups, comments from other influencers' profiles, and SEO tools are all great online formats for you to get this information. But last but not least, you can't forget to go in person. I think with this online revolution, especially post-pandemic, we've forgotten that, people did used to meet, outside in person to get feedback. And so I love going to events where I know my target market is going to be at, whether that is a conference or a meetup or just different places in my city or even around the country where I know my target market is going to be gathering. This doesn't have to be formal. It could just be hanging out in the lobby of a conference and, again, listening for those concerns, those questions, those cravings that the target market is talking about, and just writing them down. This doesn't have to be some, super crazy spreadsheet target market research. Just as long as you have the Notes app on your phone, just collect things that you hear people saying and make a commitment to be in spaces where your target market is whenever possible. So maybe you make a commitment one Saturday a month, you're gonna go to a networking group, a mom's meetup, or whatever, a cooking class, or, it doesn't even have to be a business event. It could just be a place, again, where your target market likes to hang out. You're gonna go there and you're gonna collect that feedback, and that's a great way to do market research for your online coaching business. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you sign up for my Nail Your Niche challenge. I'm not gonna let you off the hook until you sign up, unless we don't have any spots left. If you click the link below and there's no spots left, then you're off the hook. But as I talked about, the first thing that you must do in this video is you must know your niche. And I just work with so many clients who think they know their niche and they really don't. It just really behooves you to join this upcoming challenge. Again, it's a 5-day challenge. You can join by clicking the link below. Go to CourtneyLSanders.com/niche. If there's spaces available, go ahead and register. And at the end of the 5 days, I promise you, you will have nailed your niche. All right, thanks so much for watching this video. If you liked it, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe. And if you want even more where this came from, I invite you to join me on my podcast, The Courtney L. Sanders Show, where you can listen on both iTunes and Spotify. And if you even want more than that, go ahead and mosey on over to my Instagram. You can become a part of my Instagram fam. Go ahead and leave a comment on my latest post, in fact, letting me know that you watched this video. And with that, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.